Clover 360 is now officially out, and in this video we'll just be covering from the beginning to the end the latest installment, chapter 360, titled The Unseen World. Now before we begin, don't forget the official release, give it a view, leave a comment, and engage on the official release of Black Clover 360, because Black Clover is hot right now and the author deserves whatever influence and whatever support you can do for the growth of this series. And so give it a watch, give it a read over on the Shueisha app, Manga app. So the chapter begins with Asta, Silver, and Noelle kicking it off a huge battle against her devastating amplified Sea Dragon's Roar, which seems to be the full and complete potential of the Sea Dragon's Roar, which I love to see. The design is actually really cool to look at, and I can't wait for it to be animated. And so we see Aesir blitz right through it with ease, and Noelle is ready to par. It seems to be on the same power right as of now, and so we really look forward to that battle. But before that, we skip right into the battle between Yuno and Lucius, and there seems to be a little skip, whereas Yuno has been up against him for a little while, and Yuno is battered and bruised, and he's taking hits. For Lucius has the strength of Lucifero, and he's boxing Yuno left, right, and center, boxing him all around, and Yuno trying to parry with his sword, Spirit of Zephyr. And so with that, we see Yuno in a combination with Star Magic and the Spirit Dive blitzing all over the place, with having Lucius on the run trying to find which is the best opening. And we see Lucius compliments that his Star and his Wind Magic poses mobility capable of matching his speed. So we see this shot that we see Yuno pull off many times, one that I've seen and I love to see it, where he blitzed right beside Lucius ready to deal an attack, and right with that Lucius catches the thing with ease of effort, right? He's in contact with it. So this right here is raw swag energy coming from Lucius, as he just takes a sword and simply just bashes Yuno into the wall next to him and proclaims, "This is the end." With this attack, he'll take over control of the soul, and which I've been predicting is that Lucius might go right after Yuno, and who knows? Many things could have occurred here. He could have touched Yuno and turned him into a paladin. He could have touched Yuno and realized that the two souls that reside in his body, and he can do either distract it or turn one of the souls against the other. Anything could have occurred right here. But before that even occurred, Yuno unlocks Wind Spirit Creation Magic, Spirit of Nodus, the last remaining wind weapon that he needs in his arsenal, and he unlocks it right at the perfect timing. And we all know that Yuno adapts really quickly to every battle that he's up against. If he needs to fight a spatial mage and needs a far attack or mid-range attack, he unlocks Spirit of Boros, and he got Spirit of Eurus, which is an arrow. And now he needs to defend himself against Lucius's soul magic, and so the one that's in need of help is Spirit of Nodus, which is a shield created from the Wind Spirit Magic creation. And so Lucius is baffled and say, what's this magic? And with that, blitzes him right next to him, maybe indicating that maybe the shield might have the ability to boost his stats a bit or increase his defensive capabilities triple-fold or somewhat of the case. And so Lucius upset the fact he's getting much faster, which should be a hint that maybe his power is amplified by the shield, or it has something to do with that. And we also see where it says he can't take much longer, and you look on his arm where it seems to be disintegrating a bit, and that is the arm that was used to store Spirit Star energy. I don't know, perhaps a combination of both, and used to have Netherland. And if that arm breaks, it could undo the spell, and if the arm breaks, something might result in Yuno's defeat. So we'll see in the upcoming chapters. And so with that, Lucius seems to be on the run, and he is having an inner monologue about Yuno. And even if he put his life into training, the Yuno that grew up in the Clover Kingdom, the one that we're witnessing now, has this much power is baffling to him. And the fact that in the timeline that he looked into was the strongest version of Yuno would be the one in the Spade Kingdom that was not taken to the Clover Kingdom and raised with Asta. He would be the strongest version of Yuno, and the one that would be a threat, and the one that would take years to master Star Magic. But the he's currently fighting now is just has trained a little over a year and acquired so much stars and acquired so much power, and he's baffled by that fact. And when he puts two and two together, he's realizing that not only Yuno is the one that has been strong and exceeded his expectations, but Noelle, the youngest of the Silverhouse family, and Meriliona and Fugolion, who shouldn't have been here but actually dead. These progressions, these characters, something's off. And what's the different? He starts to ask himself, what's different from my visions? What is interrupting my timeline, and why I don't understand why these characters are the way they are? And we see how is on the offensive, and Lucius is looking into his eyes and one that he cannot see. A future that does not exist in a timeline that his time magic can predict. Why is that so? Because it's the timeline that Asta has shaped, the timeline that Asta has altered with his presence and changed the motivations, changed the progressions, changed everything about the characters, including and so much so that Lucius could not predict the enormous strength that Grinberilla has. And the chapter kicks off with Grinberilla striking a devastating and satisfying slash right at Lucius to deliver a final attack to lead into a next chapter. And so with that comes the end of chapter 360 and the end of a banger chapter at it, as we can see how our main character is actually a main character, not just a character that delivers the final blow, but a character that influences story through and through, from the characters, from the villains, from everything. And with that, we get more insights on time magic and perhaps Asta as well. Whereas, Asta is magicless, and with that, Lucius cannot see anything without magic. And so if someone without magic is influencing the lives of many, that means you cannot see the influence that he has made and how he has impacted their lives. And so this chapter really has raised a lot of questions about what's going to occur next and what Lucius has to do to counter against this. Maybe he will just pull out his backup, or if he doesn't have one already, because he thinks that the future that he saw was the one that's going to come to be. And so, guys, with that, this chapter comes to an end. If you like anything I had to say in this video, if you like chapter reviews, manga predictions, anything about Black Clover related, hit the like button, subscribe for more, tell me what you think about this chapter in the comments below. See you guys, peace.